Simurgh, the legendary bird from Persian literature. It symbolizes healing, unity, divine wisdom. It's said to live on Mount Qaf, a mythical peak at the edge of the world, symbolizing the highest truth, the final destination for every soul in search of meaning. Si means 30. Morgh means birds. So the term itself, Simurgh, means 30 birds. Let me ask you something. Have you ever searched so long for an answer that the search itself became a part of who you are? Once upon a time, a group of birds decide to set out looking for their legendary king, the Simurgh. To reach it, they had to cross 7 treacherous valleys or 7 hardships. First, quest, the fire inside to start, even if you don't know the destination. Second, love, not romance, but devotion, sacrificing comfort to follow a calling. Third, knowledge, the stage where you think you know until you realize you don't. 4, detachment, letting go of what doesn't serve, even if it hurts. 5, unity, realizing that everything is connected, body, soul, nature, even pain. 6, wonder, the awe and fear of stepping into the unknown. And 7, poverty, not just money, it's spiritual, reaching a point where you feel empty, but that emptiness becomes a space for truth. Let me pause here and ask you, which valley are you in right now? The valley of doubts, burnout, the valley of unanswered questions? Many birds gave up along the way. Only 30 birds managed to the end. So we said many birds gave up along the way, tired, fearful, unsure if the journey was worth it. Only 30 birds managed to the end. But when they arrived, there was no great bird to be found, no king, no crown, just silence. Can you imagine? After everything, those hardships, and now nothing? Confused, heartbroken, and disappointed, they looked around until they realized a profound truth. They themselves had become the Simurgh. The truth they were seeking was within them all along. Whenever I see birds in the sky, I remember this story, and I whisper, the truth is already within them. So I want to ask you, whenever you see birds, remember me. Think of this story and remind yourself the truth is already existing within you. My name is Saman. My journey began 10 years ago as a nurse in Iran. I worked in government hospitals in Tehran, in ICU, CCU, and emergency room. I don't know about you, but when I first started, I thought I was stepping into the world of science, certainty, answers and solutions. But what I faced were questions. We saved many lives. But I often faced strange, painful questions. After reviving a patient, they would sometimes ask, why did you save me? Why didn't you let me go? I remember a man in his early 40s. He just survived from a major cardiac event. We brought him back to life. I was proud. But when he opened his eyes, he didn't smile. He just stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Why didn't you let me go?" That hit me hard. Because he had lost more than organs, he had lost hope. And that was the first time I questioned myself if I was truly helping or I'm just extending suffering. What a question, right? Have you ever felt alive but not truly living? Just think about it for yourself. Have you ever felt alive but not truly living? Because they had lost their liver, kidneys, other organs. They felt hopeless. What now? What is next? What am I supposed to do with these broken bodies and broken spirits? Honestly, I didn't have an answer. What could I say to these people? Go home, take your medicine, get some rest, meditate, read something motivational? I said those things, but deep inside I knew there has to be something more, something real, practical, transformative. But where could I find it? Once we had an elderly client. He was our regular patient. Every now and then, his family would bring him in, once because of severe constipation and vomiting, another time because of recurrent headaches, and so on and so forth. Even though we treated him on the spot, I was wondering why he comes with a new complaint each time. What is missing here? COVID. Then COVID came. For 2 years, I served on the front lines. Even though I was volunteered to work in COVID sections, but that was madness. 2 nurses, 1 assistant, 1 doctor. The best case scenario, we were 4, but usually we were only 2 or 3. And guess how many patients? 40, 50, 60 and more, all in critical situations and severely infected. We couldn't even eat or drink. Firstly, because we were also scared and afraid of getting infected. Second, there was no time. We were just running from this patient to the other one, literally running. One is panicking, one is crying, the other one is bleeding, another one is pregnant, the other one is disabled, another one is blind. We did our best, but many lives were lost. And the ones who survived left with chronic illnesses, emotional trauma, and long-term complications. I remember a young lady, aged 35, admitted with COVID. Both lungs severely infected. She couldn't breathe, and gradually she was turning to blue and purple. We tried whatever we could. CPR, shock, epinephrine, airway support, you name it. We spent 90 minutes just to revive her because she was too young to go away. And we could see her daughter, 7 years old, crying over the window, assuming we are attacking her mom. Unfortunately, she didn't respond to our interventions, and she flew away. I still can feel her daughter's punches on my legs, yelling and screaming. Yelling and screaming and shouting, "Why did you let my mom go?" They say a soldier who comes back from war will never be the same person who left. Whoever has worked in medical field during COVID might share the same feeling. People began asking not only how do I survive, but also how do I become stronger? How to protect my life, my mind, my body? How to prevent? And again, the usual answers: face mask, vaccines, vitamins, social distancing, all important. But I kept asking myself, is there anything more? Not just for disease, but for prevention, for resilience, for vitality. So I kept searching. I took over 3 years of additional courses and trainings in wound care, infection control, emergency interventions, blood test interpretation, etc. But the deeper I went, the more whys and hows I encountered. Let me give you another case. A diabetic man comes in with severe wounds on his foot, called diabetic ulcer. No movement, poor diet, late stage wound. We did every possible treatment, but it didn't work. So eventually we had to amputate, meaning we cut the limb off. He left the hospital, but within months he came back with new sores on the other foot. And I had to ask myself, what else can we offer, my God, beyond the pills and protocols and procedures? I don't want to discourage you from medical field. I love it. It's been a decade since I have practiced it. We have had hundreds of success stories with different complicated patients. But personally, I value failures more than victories, because when you fail, you understand there is room to grow, to get better, to learn something new. All these questions led me to my next valley, immigration. By the way, how many immigrants do we have here? Can you please raise your hand, if you don't mind? Immigrants? Okay, thank you. Immigrants know that immigration is not easy. But for me, it was worth it, because I was chasing answers. I began working in Dubai as a head nurse, and I discovered something new called functional medicine, also known as natural medicine. Rather than masking symptoms, it asks, what is the root cause? And it uses natural elements such as herbs, supplements, homeopathic remedies, biohacking tools like ozone, saunas. I dove in. Over 2 years, again, I took lots of courses in stem cells, regenerative medicine, DNA analysis, IV infusions, detox, ozone therapy. All these discoveries even led to a collaboration with Netflix. This is Dubai Bling, episode 3, the recent season. When I felt I'm getting closer to the answers I was looking for, I hit another wall. These treatments weren't accessible to everyone, either too expensive or unavailable in most regions. You guessed it, I felt stuck again. Because I had found tools, but not a system. I had gathered knowledge, but not a bridge to everyone. Then by pure chance, I saw an advert for CNM. It was afternoon, 4 p.m. I saw on Instagram the same sentence, become a health coach. And I have no clue what is this. Out of curiosity, I visited the website. And I told myself, this is gonna be the last course I'm taking. But frankly, my tone wasn't this elegant and calm. I was frustrated, I was agitated. I'm tired of these stupid courses and stupid exams. I don't wanna study anymore. خلي بالي leave it as it is. So anyway, let's take it the other way. I said, this is gonna be the last course I'm taking. If it gives me the answers I'm looking for, good for me. If no, maybe there is no answer, or maybe I was never meant to find any. Question, please raise your hand if you share the same feeling. Have you ever said something like this to yourself? One last try and then I'm done? One last try and then I'm done? Thank you. I was tired of this journey, but something sparked inside me when I explored CNM. And guess what? Eventually I realized I wasn't just looking for answers, I had to create them. And CNM was the link that I needed. The mediator, the catalyst, that showed me how to bring all my knowledge together and turn it into something meaningful. Yesterday, I was sitting in the audience. Today, I stand here as a graduate in health coaching. For me, CNM isn't just a course, it's a community. I felt their presence along my course all the time, from their IT to support team, from their marketing to lecturers, all sharing an unconditional love and support anytime. With CNM, I learned healing isn't just about prescriptions. Healing is about understanding the root cause. Respecting the body's intelligence. Educating people how to take the ownership of their health. And making ancient wisdom and modern tools accessible. As a person who comes from medical background, I believe we don't just need health professionals, but we need also health translators. People who can take all this complexity and bring it back to simplicity. This wasn't just the end of the course, it's the beginning of a mission. A mission to help others reclaim their health. To share what I have learned and continue learning every day. But now, I don't walk this path alone. I have CNM beside me. A community, a constant source of inspiration. Together we continue to grow, evolve, and serve, because healing doesn't stop at graduation. It starts there. Now I have started my own journey. It's called Mitolongy. Mitolongy isn't just a brand. It's a way of reclaiming your power. It gives you the energy to show up fully, the confidence to trust yourself again, and the resilience to keep going no matter what. It's about power, the kind that starts deep inside your body and transforms the way you think, move, and feel. It's built on one belief, mitochondria, the energy powerhouses in our cells, the key to longevity, healing, and human potential. I invite you to visit my Instagram profile or YouTube channel with the same username, @Mitolongy, the same logo and picture. Not just to follow, but to connect. Ask me questions, share your story, get inspired, and join this journey. We are all more than happy to help and support with any questions you might have. Let me wrap up my speech with the story I began with. So whenever you see birds, remember me. Whenever you see birds, remember me and think of this story. We all set out looking for answers, chasing something big, divine, far away. We think it's on a mountaintop, somewhere unreachable. But when we get there, when we reach the edge of our own understanding, we find a mirror, and the answer is staring back at us. The same as those birds, go after your questions. Even if you don't find the answer, you become the answer. Thank you.